in the last stream chat, we set up this tree farm out here, which is slowly but surely infecting the land with all of this podzol here. I don't think it's going to spread any further than it currently has, but it does mean that we now have 16,300 spruce logs in the system, as well as 810 saplings, and so slowly but surely we are getting closer and closer to the 2,385 oak saplings that we're going to need if we want to craft this ultimate solar panel, of course, that being the final quest in the pack. And we did a little bit of like testing at the end of the last stream to see if we could make the alloy smelter a little bit more efficient, because if you try and like use this, like if we try and request multiple items from this, the alloy smelter was painfully slow. So the people on YouTube didn't see this, but in the last stream, we did set up a few more crafters and we added a few more recipes. So for example, we taught our system how to make the leadstone and hardened solar panels. So we just taught it, how to make the actual panels themselves, as well as things like osmium nuggets, lead nuggets, solar cores, photovoltaic cells, a few more bits and pieces from refined storage, those being the construction cores and destruction cores, as well as, again, more little things like the redstone alloy nuggets, steel nuggets, and lapis shards. However, when we go to request large amounts of really anything, the alloy smelter is usually the bottleneck. And so I think one of the things that we might have to do today, chat, is make more alloy smelters, because I really was hoping we could get away with just the one, but even one fully upgraded alloy smelter is still really, I don't think, going to be fast enough, especially if you want to craft the ultimate tier of solar panel, because, again, just to put in perspective how much, crafting and smelting is required, if we look at the kind of outputs here, or the steps even, to make the ultimate solar panel, we have to craft 262,000 leadstone solar panels just to be able to craft one ultimate solar panel, which is a little insane, and so might require us having multiple machines that can work quite fast to get that going. Now, we did also kind of figure out a few other things to do with the auto crafting system. For one, people have told me I do not need the redstone proxy chest setup for the dissolution chamber, and so I think we can fairly safely get rid of both of these two here. Apparently, with this, all we really need to do is have just an import bus on the side. The way that the crafter puts things into the industrial foregoing dissolution chamber means that it will never overload. At least that's what I've been told. So I'm fairly certain that we should be able to put an importer on that and it should work just fine. And we also did a little bit of testing and figured out that we don't actually need the chest right here for this alloy smelter system to work. So previously, the way that the whole setup worked is we had items put into the alloy smelter. Once the items were put in, that would basically, the crafter would stop and then wait until it got a redstone signal before it would go again. And what we did is we emitted a redstone signal using XNet via the redstone proxy when there was an item in this chest, right? However, what we found out last stream is that if we change the crafter, previously we had it on redstone pulse inserts next set. If we change that to redstone signal unlocks auto crafting, what we can do is we can change the setup so that instead of looking in the chest, the XNet controller looks in the alloy smelter. So essentially all we've done here is if we go down to alloy smelter, instead of having the sensor be on the chest, we have the sensor on the alloy smelter. So now instead of seeing if there are more than 0 items in a chest, we see that if there, we look to see if there are actually 0 items in the alloy smelter. So the way it works now is if there are 0 items in the alloy smelter, that triggers a signal on the green output, at which point that will then go ahead and emit a redstone signal from the proxy, thus turning this on. Once the alloy smelter is on, it's going to put the next set in. Putting the next set in disables that green signal, which then turns off the redstone proxy and thus stops the crafter putting more things into the alloy smelter until the next craft is done, right? So along these lines, we can actually get rid of this chest and this transporter, which is also going to make our lives, I think, a little easier because it's also going to make things faster. And I think, again, at that point, we can probably just put an import bus on the alloy smelter so that all of the items that are crafted are automatically pulled back into the system, and hopefully that can trigger things to kind of move through the alloy smelter faster. So did we teach our system how to make importers, chat? We did not. I think that teaching our system how to make those could be quite useful, although, in fact, actually, I am forgetting that we can just use XNet here, right? We can extract on the item channel here. Now I'm hoping that won't extract from these slots. It doesn't look like it's going to, which is good. Do we have any refined iron? We do. Let me quickly take this out and like request a little bit of refined iron here. Hopefully this will work. And as you'll see, it did put a lot of iron and sand in there. Another thing that we changed at the end of the last stream is we changed the patterns here so that now they craft in bulk. So previously we had something like this, for example. The recipe for blue alloy ingots makes 1 blue alloy ingot. However, what we did is we took the pattern out, we erased it, and then we basically made a new pattern that told the system how to make 16 refined iron at a time. That way, when we request refined iron, it puts it in 16 at a time. That way, there's less downtime between each craft. It does mean that if we only ever need 1 refined iron, we're going to get 16, right? Which is somewhat wasteful, but again, with those really big crafts where we need maybe hundreds, if not thousands, of refined iron, it's going to do it much, much faster because it's going to make it like 16 or 32 at a time, as opposed to making it 1 at a time and having those like, gaps between each cycle. So I think we actually probably also want to move like this here. We can free up quite a bit of space if we have, and again, we don't need the importer here, actually. We can use the XNet again, right, on the dissolution chamber. So we can just go ahead and set that to extract, and that should do the exact same thing. And so that's going to free up quite a bit of space for us because now we can, of course, fit more things in here. And we could probably also potentially like move this redstone proxy underneath the crafter. We don't need it to the side, which again frees up more space there because the crafters actually don't need a cable going to each one. I believe much like all of the other items in refined storage, you can actually transfer like the refined storage cabling through the machines, right? So if I put a crafter here, this one is online because it's touching this crafter. So only one of our crafters on that wall back there actually needs to have cabling attached to it. So we could have this crafter be like right here and then have this redstone proxy underneath it. And then that would just work through everything else, which I think is probably going to be a good idea. Now, as mentioned earlier, we did teach our system how to make the solar panels. However, we are currently having a bit of an issue in that when I go to request, let's say 10 hardened solar panels, it says I'm missing 3 bronze. And it also says that I'm missing 240 steel nuggets. Now, we did teach our system how to make both bronze and steel nuggets. So I have to assume that we're running into like an ore dictionary issue there where it's thinking that it needs a different kind of steel nugget. Let me clear this real quick and like encode a different steel nugget recipe. Actually, let me check what the steel nuggets are needed for and see if we can kind of work back from there. I want to turn exact off, I think, right? And then re-encode the solar panel here. If we do it like that, presumably now it can use any kind of steel nugget. And again, if we do the same thing like here and we don't have exact on, again, presumably that can pull any kind of steel ingot to make the steel nuggets required. So hopefully now if we were to request, let's say again, 10 of these, see now it's missing steel, which is acceptable because our system doesn't know how to make steel yet. But the fact that it's missing bronze again is a little disheartening. Let me check where the bronze is. So I think we need to change the hardened solar core again to be not exact. But I think that shouldn't be too difficult, and that should make it so that our system is now able to request those. And the only thing that we should be missing at that point, I think, chat, is steel. So again, let me just check that real quick. If we go for 10 of those, yeah, the only thing it doesn't know now how to make is steel. And so I think it's time to craft up a couple of infusing factories and really teach our system how to work with the metallurgic infuser. And as I mentioned a little bit in a previous stream, we could, if we wanted to, try and do all of the crafting in one machine, but I think it's going to be a lot easier and also a lot faster if instead we get multiple infusing factories and have one for each kind of fuel. I think it's enriched, right? Yeah, we have one for enriched carbon, one for enriched redstone, one for enriched diamonds, and one for enriched obsidian. Again, I'm not quite sure if anything requires enriched tin. If it does, we can make another one later on down the line. But I think for now, if we just make 3 more advanced infusing factories, we should probably be onto something. Enriched tin for bronze. Ooh. That's what the enriched tin's for? You can make it in the... Oh, I see. See, now I'm intrigued then. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. And in all honesty, any excuse to not use the alloy smelter is probably a plus in my books. So I might actually do that then. I might make a 5th one, I guess, for tin as well. Let me bookmark the 5 enrichment catalysts, whatever you want to call them here. So now I've got to make 5 of these. All right, what are we missing here, chat? We need 3 more metallurgic infusers. What do we need? We just need those circuits we were making. So 1, 2, and then the final piece of the puzzle here is just another furnace, anchor power 5. Nice. All right, from there, we want to upgrade these, and I think we can go up to advanced infusing factories. I don't really think we necessarily need to go further than that. These stack, they do not. 3, 4, and 5. And then from there, let's go ahead and make 10 of these. That should allow us to fairly easily make 5 of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful. And so I think for now, chat, annoyingly, we only have 5 of these, not 6, which is going to mean that things are not going to be symmetrical here. But I think what I'll probably do is just line them up along this back wall. And I probably will empty out what's left in these chests. And kind of dump this in the system. It is mostly coal and basalt. It is going to take up a lot of space. Like, there's a surprisingly large amount of things in this chest. At least in terms of number of items, which is really what matters when it comes to refined storage. We've still got about 4,000 bytes worth of space there, though, so that should be okay for now. And again, we do have more ingots lying around in here. But essentially, chat, I'm thinking of having these basically down along this wall here. Again, we do only have space for 4 there, so the 5th one is going to have to go, like, over here. Which doesn't really work too well for the symmetry of the base, but we'll probably put more machines here as well. So it'll probably look, you know, just fine in the future. For now, though, I guess we really need a crafter for each one. Thankfully, none of these require this, you know, setup with the proxies. All of these should just be as simple as having a crafter along the top and then having an XNet connector at the bottom. The XNet connector at the bottom, of course, is going to be used to provide power and also to pull all of the final product. Why not vertical? The reason that I've not gone vertical with these is because I want to be able to power them along the bottom. Like, if we did them vertically, then we'd have to have, like, crafters on the left and then power on the right. And, like, it would still take up a similar amount of space. I don't think it would really make much difference, right? Like, we'd have to do it like this. At which point we'd have to have, you know, we could do this, but we'd still have to have crafters along one side, let's say this side, and then XNet connectors up the left-hand side, or the right-hand side even. And I don't really want to have exposed XNet cables. I don't think they look particularly great. You could totally make it work. We could hide it in the back wall, I guess. You know, we could do that. That would work as well, I guess. We could have the XNet connectors in the back there. And in fact, you know, I'm kind of tempted, chat. Oh yeah, we do also need exporters as well, actually. That's a very fair point. We need exporters to export the fuels with crafting cards. You make a very fair point. In fact, chat, you might have sold me over on the idea here. Facades, covers. Yeah, we could, I guess, build it like right up against the wall here. You know what, chat? Yeah, you've convinced me. Okay, so I'm thinking now what we might do is we might have our 5 infusing factories on, like, here. We can then have our XNet cables hidden in the basalt. We can have our crafters maybe on the left-hand side, and then our exporters on the back. I think that could look pretty nice. It is a little out of place, like they just kind of just sat there. Maybe I want to. Ooh, I don't know. I think it'll be fine. I'll fix this like once we're done. I don't think there's much point in trying to fix it now because we have to keep going back out here. So let's get some more connectors. We can go ahead and request 4 more of those. Missing wood of all things, eh? Oh, we should definitely teach our system how to make spruce planks. And encode that. That seems like a no-brainer right there. I thought you 20. I'll request 10 though. That seems fine. So yeah, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then, of course, we'll run that under the ground along and around to our controller. Where's our current cable? It's right there. Okay. So we need to do like here and here. And I think we should already still have some spare marble facades from the last time we did this. Let me check. We do indeed. These ones are currently set to a marble tile. Fantastic. And then let's quickly grab some of the old network cable. Like so. We'll go ahead and cover these up like that. And at that point, these should be pretty much good to go. Basically, all of those just need to be set to extract. We did teach our system how to make crafters, so let's request 5 of those. So we're missing 3 advanced processors and 2 bismuth brass. Did we not teach our system how to make bismuth brass? We did not. Okay, that definitely also seems like something that we should probably teach it how to make. And I'm guessing it also doesn't know then. Oh gosh, somehow we've gotten a few more things here. I'm guessing it also doesn't know how to make the advanced processors. Is that something we could fairly easily teach our system to make? It looks like it is, yeah. So we'll teach it how to make the old raw version. And then from there we can of course teach it the process of making the advanced version. That one can go over in here. And the other guy can go up in here. I assume the system does know how to make silicon. It does, fantastic. And so at that point, if we go and request the crafters, it should just be the bismuth brass that we're missing. It is, and we're only missing 2. So I think what we're going to do, chat, is we're going to take bronze out of here, because we're going to start making bronze over in our infusing factories. And we can replace this with the recipe for bismuth brass. Like that. Now, again, I don't know if it matters too much. I think it might. I was going to say, I don't know if it matters too much, like how we have this in, but I really want all of these to be in ingot form. So bismuth, zinc, and copper in code. And then if we throw that in over there, we should now be able to request those 5 crafters. We're missing copper? No. I refuse to believe it. There's no way we're missing copper. Okay, there has to be a... let me check where the copper is. Again, this is probably one of those issues where I've selected the wrong part. Oh, I see. Yeah. You've got to be... with the... It looks like with the processing, there's no like exact version, so you do have to be precise. That's fine. So we'll throw that in there. And then now, finally, chat, once again, if we come back over and request 5 of those, begin. All right, that's actually going to craft what we're after. While we wait for that, let's teach our system how to make exporters, as we also need 5 of those. And while we're at it, I feel like we should also teach it how to make importers as well. We don't need quite as many of those. Actually, it might not even be worth doing that because we are using XNet for most of our importing needs. Let's see if we can't request 5 exporters. So the 5 crafters there are done, and our 5 exporters are also done as well. So let's go ahead and put all of these down. We are going to have to rotate them to face the correct direction, but that shouldn't be too difficult. There we go. And we also want to make sure that the left here is set to input, which it is by default. Fantastic. And at that point, we can go ahead and basically connect any of those up with cabling, and that should get them all online. Fantastic. In the future, we might move this cable underground, but for now, just to get things working, we can put that down right about there. And then we'll also want to make sure that the back of these is set to purple, which is extra. That's the slot where the enriched item goes. And that is where our exporters are going to go. We should also potentially teach our system, chat, how to make crafting cards. These are not too bad. We'll encode that, and we'll also encode the upgrade itself. Like that. We probably will have to teach our system how to make regular crafting tables, but again, that doesn't seem like it's going to be a problem for us. And then can we request 5 crafting cards? We can't, because our system doesn't know how to make improved or basic processors. Again, no time like the present to teach our system how to make those as well while we're at it. Now that it knows how to make the binding in the silicon, making these parts is nice and easy. The only potential issue is if we run out of space over here, but it looks like for now we've got a ton of space there, so that is not an issue. There we go, and at that point we should be able to request 5 crafting cards. The purpose of the crafting cards is to craft these guys to go into the infusing factories. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, we can rotate that, that's fine. There we go. Each one of those does need a crafting card. The idea being that we're going to teach our system how to make all of these in the enrichment chamber, and whenever any of these is not full up on juice, for lack of a better term, it's going to tell the system to make more of them. That's what the crafting card will do. So when the crafting cards are done, we can put one of those in each of these. And apparently that was an advancement as well. I was not aware, but apparently we've done it, which I'm very happy about. So we'll put one of these in each exporter. And then we basically just have to tell each exporter to export each of the 5 enriched items over here. Before we do that, we should definitely take our enrichment factory and move that over so that it can be auto-crafted with as well. I think we can probably, for now, just put this like right about here and put down another crafter behind that. Tungsten nuggets. Are we really out of tungsten? Oh, we are, but we've got a ton of ingots. I was going to say, we had so much tungsten ore, I felt like there was no way that we were out of tungsten ingots. That would have been insanity. So again, nice and easily, whack that down like so. And for this guy, all we have to do is teach it each of these. Now, yeah, this is fine. So coal equals enriched carbon, incurred. Let's request some more patterns here because we are going to need at least a few more. And we might as well request them in bulk because we know we're going to need more than what we have anyway. Redstone, incurred. Diamonds, incurred. There is a bit of a process involved in teaching it how to make refined obsidian dust, but we can do that as well. And then as soon as we have one more pattern here, we can do the same with tin as well. Can I use regular tin here, or does it have to be tin dust? It has to be tin dust. So we are going to also have to teach our crusher how to... let me test something real quick before I encode this. I want to check what tin we get out of the... do we have a mechanism crusher? We do, right? Yeah, this guy here. Which tin do we get? This tin dust. Okay, I just want to make sure we use the right one here so we don't get any issues later on down the line. And we're basically just going to put all 5 of those into there. So now it should know how to make all of those. At which point, we want to basically request one of each. Because we're then going to export one of each. And again, we can put this tin in there to request just the first one there. We can then also, actually, we do need to set up the Ethernet cabling real quick. So let me replace this with a connector. Like that. And then let's also add that to the system. So Advanced Enriching Factory needs power, insert, and it also needs to be extracted from. Like that. Perfect. So those crafts should now be done. Also, I think this is one of those things that the people on YouTube didn't get in the last stream, but we did make a crafting monitor. This allows us to view all of our ongoing crafts and kind of see what's currently causing the issues. Like right now, we can see that this says machine does not accept the item for the tin. I assume that's because our back is not set to input. There we go. Now it does accept machine. We'll also make sure the inputs on all sides for energy. That's fine. And the bottom is outputs. That's A-okay. So that craft should now be done. It is indeed fantastic. And so let's grab one of those as well. Let's request one of these. Fantastic. And one of you as well. Perfect. So that is one of each. And so now outside here, what we should be able to do, and we should definitely sleep, is that we should be able to put one of each into each of these. And then what it's going to do is it's going to start requesting those be crafted. So we should see this guy kick into gear here and start making all of those items. I do, of course, actually have to connect up the exporters to the system chat. That's kind of the big factor that's preventing our system from working right now. So if we just do something like this, that should bring all of those online. And then now all of these should start requesting their items. Yes, you can see now it's automatically requesting the creation of certain items here. And those items are getting pushed through the enrichment factory. The redstone is being put in automatically there. The coal is also being put in automatically there. And we should see everything else being put in automatically as well. Let me teach my system how to make... Well, let's make another crusher, I think. We'll make a crushing factory. That way we can teach our system how to make... And actually, I think maybe just a crusher would work. I don't necessarily think we need to have the factory version. At least not just yet. But if we teach our system how to make the tin, the crushed tin, and then also if we look at teaching our system how to make the obsidian as well, the refined obsidian, at that point we should basically be able to fully automate all of that. So again, for now, we'll put the crusher down, I think like right here. We'll move you and replace that with yet another connector. I'm a little worried about where I took this connector from, but for now I think that's fine. Let's put you there. Let's request another crafter. And in fact, I'm going to request like 10 crafters. I'm going to request like 5 crafters. Are we actually out of diamonds? We are. We got diamond ore. But we are very quickly running low on diamonds. And we do have a few more here. So we're not really in that much of a pickle just yet. I think temporarily, I'm going to turn off the diamond exporting. And maybe the obsidian exporting as well. Let me take that out. And let me take this out. Because those are the two... Well, for one, our diamonds are running short. And those are also the least used ones as well. It's really the coal and iron that we need... coal and redstone, at least, that we need... Excuse me? I beg your unbelievable pardon? What? Oh, I see. This guy has auto-ejector on. Which I think is fine. But we need to turn off the outputs here. There we go. Alright, this... I was gonna say, like, what in the world? What happened there? Okay, that makes a lot of sense as to why... Let me cancel all and let it kind of do its thing again. We do need to request a crafter. Let's do that. But there we go. Okay, now I think we're on to something. Okay. That's... Right, yes, we are now on to something. It is working as intended. So redstone we don't have to worry about. We've got so much of it, and coal's in the same boat. So we're fine with the system, you know, taking all of our redstone and using it in here to back this up. And the same is true with the coal as well. We're fine with the system backing up on coal. For now, we don't really have the diamonds or the obsidian to back up on either of those, but we probably can let our system back up on tin. Yeah, we've got over 1,000 tin. So once we teach the crusher here how to make tin dust, we can also start backing up on tin as well. But then really, we want to start teaching our system how to make the alloys, right? So essentially, we want to teach it this. Now, I think what we're probably going to do is obviously get rid of the redstone here because we've already, for us, the redstone's already in there. And then we can just hit encode. Yeah, that works totally fine. And then we can do the same thing for the circuit board. Like so. Basically teach us, again, we want to actually change that. So people told me if I put the pattern in the bottom, I can get rid of this. And then click encode again, and that should hopefully change it. It does indeed, fantastic. So yeah, we just want to teach our system that sending osmium or iron over here can create those circuits. Now, we did make quite a few of these earlier on, but again, if I go ahead and request like 30 more of these, click start, it should send 30 iron over there, and we do want auto sort on. We do also, chat, want to make sure that we send power to all of these, so insert, 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 and insert. There we go. We should get the crafting monitor, or the crafter manager, this guy right here, which is 2 crafters, 1 machine casing, 2 advanced processors, 1 quartz enriched iron, and then 3 redstone. This is going to allow us to view all of our crafters from one central location, so we don't have to, you know, manually go to each crafter to put a recipe in. But while we wait for that to finish, let's teach our system how to make tin dust, which we will do like this. Encode. At that point, it should, I think, straight away begin making tin. Yeah, for the tin crafter, which is this guy here. So we should start seeing this go up as tin is run through this machine. It does need power, of course. So as per usual, we need to find it on the list, which is getting ever longer here. But we need to insert power and extract the stack when it's done. But there we go. That is working. Again, not particularly fast right now, but should get the job done. Upgrade the crusher. Yeah, we should definitely upgrade its speed. It's rather slow at this moment in time. And in fact, I think it's probably worth teaching our system how to make both speed and energy upgrades if we can. Because they're a thing that we craft a lot. And I would like to not have to craft it so often. And we can teach our system how to use the crusher to turn osmium into osmium dust, and also how to turn gold into gold dust. Like that. So in you, I want that and that. And then over in here, we want, or I guess maybe in a lower one, we can put both of those in. So now we can go ahead and request a few of these. Maybe let's try like 32 of each. It also allows us to put our enriching factory to good use as well. And then we can start speeding all of this up, which is very nice. We could also teach our system how to make the muffling upgrades, although I think it needs wool, right? Oh no, it doesn't. It just needs steel. Let's teach our system how to make steel. because that is currently something that we that he does not know how to do. So steel, I don't know if it shows it on here. Like, there's no recipe for the mechanism steel ingot. I believe we have to teach it that this is a thing. Oh no, first we have to teach it how to make enriched iron, which is just iron ingot equals enriched iron, and then put that in there. And then at that point, we can teach it that enriched iron equals steel dust. And then from there, the final piece of that puzzle is to teach it that steel dust equals steel if you smelt it. And so at that point, our system should know how to make steel. Let me quickly test that out. If I request 20, does it work? I think so. It looks like we already had steel dust on us, maybe. Yeah, we do already have 44 steel dust. That's fine. That's fine. Are those upgrades done? Some of them are. We're still waiting on some of the energy upgrades, but that's fine. Let's speed the crusher up, because that is likely the bottleneck on further upgrades. And let's also speed this guy up as well, because he seems to be the one that's getting used the most at the moment. So the next tier of solar panel also seems very doable. Again, we can encode the basic bit there and encode this bit as well. Did we teach our system how to make the blazing crystals? I don't think we did, right? But we can do fairly easily. Blaze rod and crimson iron. I think we have crimson iron, or at least some crimson iron. We are, of course, going to have to get more from the nether at some point with the digital miner. But for now, we can teach this crafter over here. And in fact, speaking of teaching crafters, do we have the crafters required to make the crafter manager? We do. So let's get another machine casing. Again, I'll request 2. And then let's also request 2 advanced processes, as well as some quartz enriched iron. And glass, of all things. And at that point, we should be basically there on the crafter manager. Give it a second. Wait for this to do its job. Let me check that this hasn't got bunged up again. No, it's fine. Crafter is locked. Oh, I need to change this, chat. We got rid of the whole setup, didn't we, with the redstone, but I didn't get rid of I didn't change my crafter mode there. That would make a lot of sense. Okay, that is now done. So that's our crafter manager. And I guess for now we'll put it like right there, if we can. So in here we see all of our, and let's make it a bit taller, I think, as well, if we can. There we go. We can see all of our crafters. So up here we've got, it says smoker, which I assume is just, it's these crafters. I don't know why it says smoker there. But like, energizing orb, alloy smelter, crusher, advanced enriching factory, dissolution chamber, advanced smelting factory, smoker, apparently, and then advanced infusing factory. I guess the fact that all of these are next to each other is why they're all grouped together, but we have to, you know, we have the redstone one, the coal one, and then I assume the tin, diamond, and obsidian one. Oh, I guess it's because it's on top of the smoker, right? Like if I move that, maybe it will get rid of the word smoker. Oh no, it still says smoker. What a bizarre. Maybe it just locks on to whatever it was adjacent to first. Yeah, I guess this collection of crafters will forever be known as the smoker set, which is fine. But it does mean that now if we wanted to, for example, insert these recipes, we can just do it from here. We don't have to go and like find out which one's empty. We can see which one's empty from within here. And speaking of that, we are now full. Like all of the slots have now been taken. So if we want to craft more, we're going to have to make more crafters. Which is fine. What else do we need for this solar panel, though? Because I think we're pretty much there on at least teaching it. So our system already knows how to make energized steel. And now it knows how to make the blazing crystal and the hardened solar cores. So all that's really left here is this refined glowstone dust. And for this, we need to grab our Osmium compressor. And I think we'll do a similar thing here to what we've done over with these guys, in that we'll have Osmium being constantly pumped into the bottom of the compressor to make sure that there's always this osmium, liquid osmium, available for whenever a refined glowstone ingot is requested. So, as mentioned earlier, I think I do want to move this redstone proxy here. I think I'm going to put it like right here, because that cable isn't needed. And then hopefully we can just replace that blue connector. Like that. And we might have to reteach our system how that's done. Yeah, what did we do with the, Oh, it's here, right? So it's output when green. Yes. Create output green 16. So that should work. That should continue to like output to the crafter there and keep things chugging along just nicely. And that's, of course, going to allow us to put our osmium compressor like right here. So we're doing an exporter as well. Let's go ahead and request that. Thankfully, no crafting card required this time. Do we have a crafter? We do indeed. Let's go and put you down. There we go. And this one, of course, is going to be the energized glowstone. So let's teach it this one. And we don't need the osmium here. We just need the glowstone equals reinforced or refined glowstone ingot. And throw that in. Once we have the exporter, I think we'll put it here. We could try and hide it underneath, but I think for now, just throwing it down here is going to work just fine. We do have Ethernet cables under there that would have to be rerouted if we wanted to change it. So we'll connect that up like so. And with this one, all we have to do is tell it to export osmium. We do want to make sure that the purple slot, again, is at the top like that. And we want to make sure that the bottom is output like so. And all the rest are set to none. So export osmium. That should go ahead and fill that up. It is indeed fantastic. And of course, as with everything else, over here, let's find the osmium compressor. Let's extract, stack, and insert on Powah. And that should be good to go. Now we should be able to request the glowstone dust. And at that point, chat, if we grab some of these crafters and we put them down again, and I think, again, we can just put these next to each other like this, because we want to be able to put this pattern here somewhere. I think now we have taught it everything to be able to request these. So again, if I wanted like 10 of these, can it do that? It kind of can. Oh, we do, of course, need to teach our system how to make bronze now, right? So bronze now is just 3 copper in... Let me check real quick that I get the right bronze out. In like one of these, right? In here. Again, we'll turn AutoSort on, and we'll grab some of those speed upgrades. There we go. Does this not work? Does it need to be dust? Oh, is it because AutoSort is on? Oh, it is. Okay, so we can't have AutoSort on that one, which is a little annoying. It kind of negates the point of having a factory version, but that does work. It does give us a different bronze, though, which is fine. So we'll teach it that 3 copper equals 4 bronze in code, and then we can throw that in up there. And so now, again, if we were to request, you know, solar panels, we can actually request this, and we have everything it takes to make 20 of these. Of course, again, I believe we need like 4,096 of these. Yeah, to actually... you know, complete all of the, to get to the highest tier of solar panel, and 4,096, we're quite shy. We're missing almost 500 blaze rods, although I'm fairly certain we've got all those downstairs. We're missing 2,000 glowstone, but that seems very doable, as does the 500 crimson steel. Like, all of those seem like we can get fairly easily, and the rest is mostly just a lot of mining, right? Like, we just need to mine a lot. And then at that point, chat, we're I was going to say halfway there, but that'd be a little lie. I guess the Signalum solar panel would be halfway there. We're almost halfway there. And I guess we can, if we want, actually, at this point, request some more patterns. And then begin teaching our system how to make the higher tiers of solar panel, even if we don't necessarily have what it takes to make them just yet. Because we do need to encode all of these at some point anyway. So the next solar core is where things get a little dicey. The Niotic crystal is actually an easy enough teach, just as soon as we get some more patterns here, because the Niotic crystal is just a diamond and an amethyst, both of which we have in the old energizer, so that's fine. We do, however, have to then start looking at HDPE sheets. We need signalum as well, but the signalum is, again, easy enough. We can teach our system that now. The HDPE sheets are where all of the saplings come in, the whole reason we set up the tree farm, because for the HDPE sheets, we need HDPE pellets, which need substrate, which need biofuel, which are made, in our case, from saplings. So our crusher hopefully is going to get some use. Speaking of saplings, we've got 2,300 now, which is very nice indeed. So we're actually very close to having all of the saplings required to make all of the HDPE pellets. So that's all of the solar panels there taught, which is good. Let's teach our system how to make the crystal, and let's also teach it how to make the signalum. Again, we will swap out that copper and silver there for 1, 2, 3 of this copper and just 1 regular old silver in code. I think we're running out of space in our alloy furnace. We are. So we're probably going to have to get a second one, actually, if we want to encode this signalum here. Although, we could if we... I don't know, we're going to have to get another one. I was going to say we could put another craft on here, but I don't think that's going to work with this guy in particular, right, because of the way we got it set up. So yeah, I think we are going to have to set up another one here, but that's totally fine. Before we do that, though, I think we probably want to look at making... or automating the, actually, the crystal there I can put in. This guy right here. But yeah, we should look at automating the HDPE pellets, because I really don't think it's going to be too difficult. We might have to get another electrolytic separator going. Potentially. But I don't think it's going to be too bad. It's mostly just pressurized reaction chambers, also known as PRCs. These guys right here. Because again, if we look at the recipe for the old HDPE pellet, we need to do the final craft, which you can do either in the enrichment chamber or here. I guess we probably want to do it in the enrichment chamber. And actually, I think when we taught it to our calculator, we taught it with the craft. So like this one here as opposed to this one here, which would drastically increase the number of saplings we need. So we probably actually don't need anywhere near as many as we thought if we use the enrichment chamber. But then we need the pressurized reaction chamber to do this craft here, which is oxygen, which we get from the electrolytic separator, and then flowing, or liquid ethylene even, that we get from ethylene in a rotary condensator. The ethylene is made again in a pressurized reaction chamber, this time with water and hydrogen. So obviously the electrolytic separator makes both oxygen and hydrogen, so we can do both of those crafts from one electrolytic separator, I think. We might have to speed it up, at which point we might run into power issues, but in general the idea should work. We can teach our system how to make the biofuel with the crusher, export that out, and really that shouldn't be too difficult, and we get the ethylene and the substrate from this craft here, which we then use in here to make the HDPE pellets. So really that shouldn't be too difficult, I don't think, chat. So for the pressurized reaction chamber, we do need 2 enrichment chambers. So let's make a few of these if we can. So let's do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that should make getting 2 enrichment chambers here nice and easy. At that point, we should then almost have everything it takes to make the PRCs. We need 4 gas tanks. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I think, chat, that we're basically there at that point. What are we missing here? We're missing infused alloys and a dynamic tank. The dynamic tank is a bucket and steel. And then the alloys we can, of course, request via our system now. So let's go ahead and request some of those. And as soon as we get at least 1 or 2 of those, that's 1 and 2. Nice. So I think that's basically it, chat. We need the electrolytic separator. We'll get that. But again, I don't think that's going to be too difficult for us to do. There are actually advancements here. Yeah, so we got an advancement for under pressure. Let me request like 1 of each of the lower tier of solar panel, just to see if we can get the quest complete. So we'll request a hardened one, which hopefully won't take too long here. Yeah, that's basically done. And that's that quest complete. And then we'll also request, we'll put this one back and we'll request the next tier as well. And again, that might take a little longer because it has a few infusion recipes that it needs to do. And it's also going to, it's going to let us know if this is going to work. And we need to set the back there to input so that the glowstone can be used. And the bottom is already set to output, so that is fine. But again, that shouldn't take too long, I don't think. This is working again. In the future, we do want to upgrade this energizing rod to make this a bit faster. But for now, I think it's actually fine. Yeah, it's not a problem at all. And there we go. That solar panel is also done. Nice. So that is those two quests taken care of. So the next quest up is the actual Signalum solar panel, which of course right now we don't have, but we are working on it slowly but surely. So electrolytic separator is, again, not too difficult. We do need one of these electrolytic cores, and our system does now know how to make both osmium dust and gold dust. So getting this put together should not take us too long at all. So I think we want one PRC on each side of the separator, because one needs oxygen and one needs hydrogen. So we'll do this, we'll do this, and we'll do this. We'll then put our tank on the front and set this to frequency 1. And also set it to auto-eject. That should start pushing water into there. It is going to do that. Fantastic. We do, of course, need to run power over to it. And as always, I feel like we might as well do that via XNet. We do have a cable nearby. Let's grab a few more connectors. And we should have our cabling, yeah, right here. Perfect. So we can just dig this like so. And run these under each machine. And then 1, 2, and 3. For now, though, let's make sure we get all of those set up on, at the very least, the energy cable. So we should start making both hydrogen and oxygen here. And those will hopefully get exported to the right locations. So this one is doing just fine. We probably want to change this to import red on the right side. And maybe that should work, potentially. Let me get the HDPE pellet recipe up here. We'll bookmark that. So we'll start with the substrate. The substrate needs water and hydrogen. So the hydrogen should be in here. Let's get a mechanical pipe to move the water in. Now, I think we might have to go around to this side. Oh, no, maybe not, actually. Maybe we can just go directly in here if we set the front as an input on yellow. Hold on, chat. Like that. So that's working. And then we need to make sure that the gas has an input on the right there. At that point, we should start to see the hydrogen come in as well. Beautiful. And so all we need to do now is export our biofuel here. And that should start making the substrate. And this seems like one of those things that we should probably use crafters for, just because we need so much of it going forward, right? We can teach our system how to make the HDPE pellets, and I think we can probably void some of the excess here. Yeah, we are going to need, chat, some gas pipes, which I think are called pressurized tubes. They are. So these are not too bad. They require glass and steel at the basic tier. And they're also not too difficult to upgrade either, much like the rest of the mechanism family of pipes and machinery. So we'll upgrade it a bit. I don't think we're going to need an elite pipe, but for now we'll take this. And we're essentially going to run this along and over into the PRC, because this needs both oxygen and... Does it need liquid ethylene? I believe it does, right? So we need the rotary condensator, which again is really not too bad, actually. It sounds more complicated than it is. And I think what I am going to do is I'm going to hide the rotary condensator behind here. And again, we are digging now out into the outside world. Let me check the recipe real quick on the HDPE pellets. So when you make the substrate, you get 100 millibuckets of ethylene, but you only need 50 millibuckets of ethylene to make the HDPE pellets, so you do net gain ethylene. That's good to know. So let's put down the old rotary condensator, like right here. I'm actually not quite sure which side is the input. I might have to put it down like up against this block here. Like that. And then hopefully what we can do from there is we can use the pressurized tube here. Make sure this is set to export gases or output gases on the back. And auto-eject on. That way, as soon as we put some biofuel in there, which we'll do now manually just to get the system going. And I don't know how much power this uses. 2 redstone flux per tick. Not much right now. Let me request, like, Maybe let's do 32. Speed and energy upgrades. Just to get that going. But that does work. At least in the sense that the ethylene has made it in there. We then need to turn that into a liquid ethylene, which is again where our XNet cabling comes in handy. So we'll put another blue connector down right about there. And of course, go and make sure that power is being sent to that rotary condensator. There we go. That's going to start turning it into a liquid ethylene, at which point we can then use our mechanical pipe, which I'll upgrade. I will upgrade as well to the elite version, again, just in case. So we'll have that right about there. And again, we'll grab the configurator. Make sure this is set to fluids. And set that to extract. That should then begin inserting the liquid ethylene. It is indeed. And at that point, we take the substrate out of here and throw it in there. And that makes us the HDPE. So we're basically there at that point, chat. If we take our two crafters and we stick them on top of these machines here. So here and not there. Here, like that. We can then rotate those to face down. Like that. And make sure that they are connected up via the old cabling here. And then all we have to do at that point is we have to teach our system, first of all, how to make biofuel, which again, we're doing with saplings, specifically spruce saplings, as that is what we have a few thousand of. Like so. And this would be a lot more easy if we had some patterns available, which we do, fantastic. So we'll throw that in the crusher, like so. And then from there, chat, we can teach our system that 1 biofuel equals 1 substrate. We can get rid of the water. I don't think the water is necessary there in code. Perfect. That's going to go in over here. And then we can teach it that 1 substrate equals 1 HDPE pellet. And again, we can get rid of the ethylene there. That's not needed. Stick that in over here. And then from there, we can teach it that you can make HDPE pellets with, or HDPE sheets with 3 HDPE pellets in code. That goes into our enriching factory. So back here. And I think, chat, at that point, we should just be able to request HDPE sheets. So if I request 10 of those and click start, we should see biofuel being sent out. We had a backlog of biofuel, so it didn't need to crush it, but that's fine. We could possibly, and again, for now, we seem to be keeping up on hydrogen, but, well, yeah, no, we seem to be doing fine on hydrogen. Again, if we sped things up, it might change. All we have to do is just set these to extract so that things are imported into the system, right? I don't know why I thought I needed to move the substrate from here to here via XNet. All we have to do is have the substrate be taken from here, pulled back into our system the same way everything else is, and then it exports over here. That's what was causing the issue there. So now again, if I request, let's say, 4 more HDPE pellets, this time everything should work out just fine because now the system is set up to handle that, I think. Just waiting for Craft Tweaker to reload. There we go. Come on. Please don't. Please don't crash on me. Yeah, okay. I think that's now working as intended. And now we don't need this import bus either. Because now we can have the bottom here set to output. Not that it really matters too much, but it just saves us. We can use that importer elsewhere in the future. And yeah, perfect. All right, so our system does now know how to make those HDPE sheets, which is very nice indeed. Let's temporarily pull out like this recipe for the blue doped wafer there, and let's throw in the recipe for the signalum that we made earlier. Because I think, chat, that basically at this point, our system should be able to make a signalum solar panel. So long as we teach it how to make this. But it knows how to make the nautic crystals, it knows how to make the signalum, and it knows how to make the HDPE sheets. So if we throw that in right about here, and we go and request just the 1 solar panel, it should be able to do that. It's so many items and so many steps, but I'm pretty sure that it's all doable. Yeah, it's all coming together. Again, the energizing orb here could be faster, because there are a few crafts that it needs to do. And much like with the alloy smelter, by the way, we don't need the chest for this. We probably could use the same system where we have our XNet cable like check to see if there's an item in here, and then, you know, trigger the crafter, as opposed to having the chest, much like we did with the alloy smelter at the start of the stream. This recipe in particular takes a lot of power. What is required for the next tier of energizing rod? We currently have blazing, I think, right? So the next one is Niotic, which is actually fine. It just requires those Niotic crystals, which our system does now know how to make. So we could probably bump that up to 700 redstone flux. And after that, we need the spirited crystal, which is also not too bad. We are going to teach our system how to make these, because these are also needed in the making of the next tier of solar core, I think. Yeah, this one right here. So we are going to need some of those spirited crystals anyway. And then finally these guys, which we do have to make at least one set of nitro crystals, because that's also needed for the highest tier of solar panel. But once that is done, which it will finish eventually, it's going to take a minute there. Once that's done, I'm pretty sure that we're good to go on this front. Like, everything else seems to be coming together quite nicely. That solar panel is now done, and that's a quest complete. Beautiful. But for now, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's stream there.